Hello. Um, I have not done this in a while, uh, but I find myself with a chunk of time, and I thought it would be fun to stream some video games again. Um, it's been years, I think, since the last time I jumped in on a game for Twitch. I played Hyper Light Drifter and had a ton of fun with it. Um, but it's been a couple years. My video game habits have waned and waxed a little bit, and I haven't played too much in recent months. But sort of in the past few months and in the months coming up, there have been and will be a bunch of really cool new games that are being released. So I thought it would be a good time to build up this habit again and get back into video gaming. Um, I've been playing mostly factory builder games, so I've been doing a lot of Factorio and Satisfactory. Messed around with Dyson Sphere Project. Extremely addicting games. Easy way to sink 10, 20, 30 hours in a weekend and have a blast doing it, especially with friends. Satisfactory has a new server mode out, and oh my god, it's just it's so very easy to lose time playing those games, getting caught up in the minutiae. But I thought I would switch it up for this stream and play a game that I know almost nothing about. It's called Inscryption. This was a game that I heard recommended on an end-of-year video by Brian David Gilbert. He didn't give very much info. He said just, if you have 20 bucks, buy the game and just give it a blind playthrough and see what you think of it. So I thought I would do that. I know that it is roughly in the genre of deck building. There's been sort of an explosion of this genre called roguelike deck builders over the past few years. If you don't know what that means, basically roguelike and deck builder. Roguelike is a series of games where you start off with almost nothing at all, and as you play through the game, you get more and more stuff, whether that be equipment if you're playing an adventure game, or something similar to that. And if you end up dying in the game, you lose everything. You go back to square one. So it's this sort of pretty rigorous and punishing method of gameplay where every time you die, you become the weakest version of yourself again. It was an old style. It was popularized by a game called Rogue. That's why they're called roguelikes. But it's been explored almost to death, especially in the past 5-10 years. There's a lot of really great roguelike titles out there. Dead Cells comes to mind. And the other side, Deck Builder, is a series of games where they're basically card games, similar to Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, that sort of stuff. And you start with a very weak deck of cards that you're sort of playing against other people or enemies, depending on how the game is formatted. And as you go through the game in that roguelike manner and defeat enemies, you get new, more powerful, more interesting cards. So you're building your deck as you go along. So these roguelike deck builders got really popular with the release of a game called Slay the Spire. And there's been a couple other really big hits in the genre. Monster Train comes to mind. And I hear that Inscryption is a roguelike deck builder, so we should expect this sort of card game type of gameplay, which I have a sort of spot in my heart for. I grew up playing Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering, so card games are sort of in my blood. I've always had a lot of fun with them. But there's supposed to be a big horror element to this game. I don't usually dabble in the horror games too often. They're pretty spooky to me, and I tend to enjoy faster paced, more lighthearted stuff. But I'll do a horror game once in a while. I remember having a ton of fun with the original Amnesia. That I played with a friend because it was a little too scary to play alone. But hopefully this one isn't too bad. The deck builder has got me hooked, so I'll suffer through the horror. But supposedly there are some sort of meta-gaming elements. The horror is coming not within the card game, but sort of off to the side. So we'll see what that means. Again, I really have no idea what this game is going to be like. I watched the trailer, that's about it. So we should just go ahead and jump in. I've waited till after dark to keep it extra spooky. And luckily that came very quickly. I'm in Seattle in the winter, so there's approximately 15 to 20 minutes of sun every day, and it will be that way until May. But without further ado, let's try and play the game. Hopefully this is coming through. Please someone let me know if it's not. So we've got this opening screen, there's this sort of static sound in the background, and there's just this play button here. So I guess we'll play. Daniel Mullins is an indie developer. He does most of his game development on his own. All right, let's see what's going on. Inscryption. There we go. Press any button to start. Okay. New game, continue, options, credits, quit. New game, that's what we want. Okay, new game is blocked. Already, things are spooky. Let's look at options. Oh man, this is so interesting. So it's sort of formatted almost like an old video camera recording. It's got these sort of CRT reminiscent bars running across the screen. The fact that new game is blocked means I guess I should continue. The fact that I'm continuing is scary. It means that someone has been playing before me. Let's just give it a try. Vocally, thank you. Thanks for the confirmation. Okay. Yeah, this is spooky. Another challenger. It has been ages. Perhaps you have forgotten how this game is played. I don't even know how it's played. Allow me to remind you. Okay, here we go. I got my cards. Play the squirrel card. How do I look at cards? Oh, here we go. Okay. So I can use the scroll wheel to sort of look at his screen, like the full board, my rough set of cards, and then I can look more closely at them. And the fact that I have a hand means I'm a human, which makes me feel better about this. Squirrel. I don't know where I play this. I'll just play it in the middle. Now play your stoat. Stoat costs 1 blood. I guess that's indicated by this blood drop here. Sacrifices must be made. Ooh, sort of Yu-Gi-Oh style. An honorable death. Play the stoat. So this is, I'm guessing, attack. This is defense. So very simple game. Wolves require 2 sacrifices. You don't have enough. Ring the bell to end your turn and commence combat. Can I? You cannot draw a card in your first turn. Okay. Don't you have enough? You may draw next turn. For now, make 2. I always sort of like to test the limits of stuff. The fact that there's different dialogue every time. Okay, it's repeating. I thought maybe he might get very angry and do something if I kept trying to draw. Alright, end the turn. Your stoat stands unstopped. The number on the bottom left is its attack bar, 1. Got him. Your stoat dealt me 1 damage. I added it to the scale. You win if you tip my side all the way down. Like this. Ooh, spooky hand. Coyote. Your stoat stands in the way of my coyote. My coyote dealt 2 damage to your stoat. That means your stoat's health is 2 less. If creature's health reaches 0, it dies. Okay, so unlike, okay, let's see. You may draw from your deck, or you may draw a squirrel. I'm going to draw from my deck. That sounds way more interesting. How reckless of you. Okay, yep. Gotcha. These all need 2 sacrifices. So, just to comment on what's going on here, there's a couple sort of standard ways that these sort of adversarial card games are put together. In games like Magic the Gathering, if you deal damage to an enemy creature and the turn ends, that damage might go away if the creature isn't killed in that turn. But this seems to be persistent damage. So my stoat will continue to take damage regardless of how many turns it takes to kill it. So that's interesting. That probably makes these sorts of high health creatures really good for defense. They're just going to stand in the way for a while. It looks like there's 4 lanes, at least in this first match, which means I'm going to try to get my high attack, low health creatures like wolves in unblocked lanes, so I can get in for damage without having to mess around with his creatures. Hopefully there's something like spells, non-creature cards basically, that will let me clear the way for some of these higher attack fellas. Yeah, pretty simple so far. Okay, so the fact that I can't do anything means I should end my turn, which I think will automatically commence combat, and my stoat should kill his coyote like this. So let's see if that is true. Yep, okay. Because you are learning, I will pass. You've drawn all the creatures from your deck. A squirrel is your only choice. I see. That's just fine. I love squirrels. Actually, I don't love squirrels. Squirrels are terrible creatures. Very vindictive, very angry. Okay, my stoat gets in again. You deal 1 damage, so I put 1 weight on the scale. You know you can play more than 1 card in a turn. Pass. What is this? This is lighting up. I guess it's, oh, I see. So these like individual teeth here. It looks like from the center, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if there's a net 5 balance on his side, I think I'll win the game. And the interesting part about this is that it's the net, the fact that it's a scale seems to indicate that it's a net weight that will win me the game. So currently I've dealt him 2 damage, but if he were to come back and deal me 2 damage, we'd be back at even. That's pretty interesting, and it does not line up with common sort of life total or health point mechanics like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic or Slay the Spire, that sort of stuff. It means technically the game could go on forever if I kept dealing him 1 damage and he kept dealing me 1 damage. The net weight would remain 0 on average, so we'd play forever. I don't think I want to play with this guy forever. Seems pretty creepy. I don't know, maybe he's fine. Was I not clear? you can play a squirrel and also sacrifice it in the same turn. Okay. Understood. So I can play a squirrel and I can play a wolf. Your wolf demands 2 sacrifices. It's the all the cards are like shivering. They're like fearful of being sacrificed. Wolf gets played, and since this stoat is just a 1/1, I think I will also sacrifice it for my other wolf. Fear not, the beast is sacrificed but not removed from your deck. Okay. Okay, so I've got 2 wolves out. I can keep drawing squirrels, but this should deal him 6, which I think should end the game. Or at least the round. Oh yeah. You've won this match. They would all be so easy. I hope not. Let me recall your story. Pretty interesting so far. Oh yes. You were lost deep in the forest. A single path revealed itself. Okay. So this has the roguelike deck builder feel to it. So in games like Slay the Spire, you're sort of given a map very similar to this, and this has just a single path through it, but I'm guessing eventually I'll be able to sort of choose one of several ways to go, and that will let me choose whether I want to fight other fellas to try and get new cards or different types of rewards, or maybe there'll be a way to rest and regain some health if there's health, or maybe there'll be something like a store where I can spend gold to get things. All of these are sort of common in the roguelike deck builder map mechanic here. I can also scroll all the way forward to see what is, I think, just my starter deck. So as I add cards to it, I should be able to see them here. Two denizens of the forest approached you tentatively. The caustic adder. Damage from its poison bite is always lethal. Ah, so it has the poisonous trait. Any amount of damage it deals will kill the enemy unit regardless of its health. The undying cat. Sacrificing the poor beast does not kill it. Only one may grace your paltry deck. Cat, since my current deck has all of these 2 sacrifice cards, I feel like the sacrificial cat is a way to get out these guys much faster. I'm gonna take the cat. I mean, this is cool, but I'm a cat person. Another creature joins your caravan. Okay, so this is the deck builder. Interesting. Some of the creatures of the forest seemed willing to follow you. Let me just one more time. Okay, so I'm able to read these effects. When a card bearing this sigil is sacrificed, it does not perish. And I remember what the poisonous sigil looked like as well. You came across an abandoned sack. You found a squirrel in a bottle. Break in case of emergency. And have a second. Another useful implement. I'll allow you to tip the scales with it. Tip the scales. 3 is as much as you can carry. Okay, so it looks like there's items in the game that are consumable, probably. So the squirrels are probably a way to get a squirrel instantaneously if I need it for a sacrifice or something like that. Or as a sacrificial defender, if he's got some high attack fella that's going to get it unblocked. I don't know what tip the scales means. Can I see my items? You can't use that right now. Nope, no idea. Okay, this looks like a fight. You were ambushed while crossing some rough terrain. Interesting. Interesting. My cards are talking to me. Play along for now. You may now see my moves ahead of time. Oh, this is so cool. Okay. So, this guy was talking to me, and he said, play along for now. Maybe this is where the meta horror starts to come in. Okay, so immediately we've got some new things on the board. These look like things I'm going to have to attack through in order to get at damaging the enemy. I've got a big defensive one here as well. These 3 health stumps should line up poorly against my wolf. Looks like I need to draw my wolf first. And then this is like the intention system in Slay the Spire. So he's basically telegraphing to me what he's going to do on his next turn. And with this extra information, it'll let me plan a little bit better about what I want to do with my turn. So the wolf cub has the fledgling. A card bearing this sigil will grow into a more powerful form after 1 turn on the board. Okay. Interesting. I'm not going to have a way to deal with it because there is a boulder in the path, and I'm guessing I can't sacrifice the boulder. Sacrificial cat seems very good. If I get this out... Let's see, can I draw on my first turn? I will not allow you to draw a card on the first turn. Okay, so my starting hand is my starting hand. Either I can get a Stoat out and attacking, or I can get my Sacrificial Cat out. Given that the rest of my guys are 2 sacrifices, I think I'm going to opt to put the cat out as soon as possible. Like this. Sorry, squirrel. I'm going to keep the cat in a place where he can't be killed by a unit. This stump will prevent the enemy from playing in this line, I think. Yeah. Let's do it. Mind the ambitious wolf cub. It ages swiftly. Let's see. I can play the river snapper this turn if I grab a squirrel. But the Stoat is dealing about the same amount of damage. Let's just get the fellows out. Actually, this will be pretty interesting. I want to see how this works. So if I play squirrel here, can I sacrifice the cat twice in 1 turn, is what I'm wondering. So river snapper. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, let me see what he's going to do. He's going to play bat at 2/1. A card bearing this sigil will strike an opponent directly, even if there is a creature opposing it. Okay. So that means he can fly over my guys, but it sounds like I can still hit his guys. Given that, I'm going to try to play the snapper here. And I'm going to also try and play the Stoat. Oh man, this cat is awesome. So I can sacrifice the cat multiple times in 1 turn. That's super powerful. Okay, so this guy became wolf. Okay, airborne bat flies over creatures to attack directly. Yep. So he hit me. Ha, my bat flew right over your river snapper. Let's just grab the wolf. I think I honestly just end the turn. So he's not doing anything. My snapper will kill his bat, his wolf will destroy the boulder. On the following turn, I'll be able to draw a squirrel, play it here, sacrifice the cat and the squirrel for a wolf, and my wolf should kill this wolf. So I think I just end here. And then we play it exactly as I planned. Oh ho ho ho. What power? I guess I'll just take the wolf. I should win here now. The interesting thing about cat is that it's taking up space on my board, which I didn't really think about initially. So I have another wolf, but I don't really have a place to put it without throwing out another useful creature like Stoat. I could play wolf in place of Stoat again. He got sort of mad at me when I sacrificed him last. Also, the animation on the card is sort of indicating that he's like alive. I think I want to sacrifice the Stoat again to see if there's any meta effects. Wow, seriously. You prevailed and trekked onwards past the now bloody terrain. Okay, so this was like event, that was fight. This is get a new card. Wolf Cub, the young wolf cub, it grows into a wolf after a single turn. The Neek Sparrow, an inexpensive, if feeble, flying creature. Given the sort of like power of my deck with the two wolves right now, I don't feel super compelled to play Sparrow, or to pick up Sparrow. It seems like Sparrow would be a way to slowly chip away at my opponent's health. But up until now, I've sort of just been brute forcing with an aggressive strategy, so I'm just going to take the Wolf Cub and continue along that path. Okay. I don't think I've seen this before. You stumbled into some strange stones in the mist. You are compelled to choose a worthy sacrifice, one that will be lost forever. Okay, so I have to throw away one of these cards. Honestly, Cat totally enabled me to get everything out last fight, so I'm going to throw away the new Wolf Cub. Okay, this lets me re-choose. Looks like it always has me choose between two. So this is a way of thinning my deck out. In general, in these sorts of deck builder type games, you want to have a small deck in most cases, especially in games where cards are persistent between turns. That means you'll be able to draw to the most powerful cards in your deck as soon as possible. So getting rid of cards like this actually can be a good thing, and often is. Pick me. Okay, Stoat says pick me. Okay, Stoat is doing the killing on Wolf Cub? Is this what this means? What an honor. Oh. A ghastly spectacle, but the soul of the Wolf Cub now lives in the Stoat. I don't know what that means. Fledgling, a card bearing the sigil will grow. Okay, so the meta commentary is being conducted by a card in my deck. I guess that's the sort of gag that's going on right now. Oh, behold my totem. It is inscribed. It inscribes my canine cards with the airborne sigil. He's completely insane. You see that, right? No care for the rules. Pathetic, really. Enough. Only keeps me around to watch me suffer. Okay, so it seems like Stoat knows this guy. Coyote Bat. Okay, so he's going to go full airborne here, which is pretty spooky. Squirrel. I really need to draw cat. I can draw. I don't draw on the first turn, right? I can play Stoat. Stoat will be able to kill either coyote or bat. I just gotta say that the graphics here are quite beautiful. Just like these particle effects sort of circling around and the spooky eyes in the background. Just the entire color scheme of the game changed when he's got this totem in play. It's really well done. I don't think I need squirrels yet, honestly. I can play squirrel. I can sacrifice squirrel for Stoat. Back on the board. My totem has granted my Cody the power of flight. Yeah. Okay. I need to be able to kill this other guy next turn. I think I actually do need to draw a squirrel and use one of these potions. So he's right on the verge of winning, which means I think I need to kill both of his creatures this turn. Elder Stoat will be able to kill Coyote, but I need to be able to either kill Bat or deal damage to him directly this turn, which means that I need to get either of these cards in play. In order to do that, I need a squirrel sacrifice. Wolf just has been doing work. What's he doing over here? Wolf Cub. Okay, so this is the fledgling card. I don't think it will matter. I shouldn't need to use another squirrel, so I'm just going to take it slow, keep picking up some sacrificial cards. The question is, do I want to sacrifice Stoat again this combat or not? You're 3 damage away from winning. No. Okay, so I think I just win. But let's just, to make sure, get out the snapper. Okay, this kills this. These two attack him. Oh, so I'll be 1 off, I think. Does it matter? Here's cat. Okay, do I kill Stoat for cat? Let's do it, man. I don't know if I like Stoat or not. Oh, come on. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really feel that bad for Stoat. Something's going on here. I don't know, you know. Let's not trust anyone. They want you to be sympathetic to Stoat, is what it seems like. And in these sorts of horror games, they like to twist things on you. So I'm guessing that Stoat may become a power-hungry character at some point. I already upgraded him. I didn't even know that I was going to do that. So let's be careful here. Impressive. You may yet survive this ordeal. Knock on wood. Okay, so here's the branching paths that I was mentioning before, which I think was sort of popularized by Slay the Spire. This will be a new card in the deck, right? Oh, 3 options now. The Flighty Elk. It moves after attacking. Oh, interesting. The Proud Wolf, a vicious contender. What is this? Okay, so this looks like it moves down the board. Sprinter. At the end of the owner's turn, a card bearing this sigil will move in the direction inscribed in the sigil. So it's sort of a way to play with positioning, which is pretty powerful in a game like this. If I happen to load up some creatures on the left side of the board, but he has some weaker creatures on the right side because most of my deck are these like high sacrificial cost ones. I won't really be able to defend against them, so Elk is sort of a way to sweep the board. It's got good attack, passable defense. It's interesting. Sparrow is another weak creature to get out early, but honestly I haven't felt too pressured. That may change. There are probably aggressive enemies that will have a bunch of these single sacrificial cards, and this does really play nicely with Cat in an aggressive strategy. But you know, these stats are they're not very compelling. And then Wolf is Wolf. I don't know what this is. There's like a little button or something. It just makes you want to press it just because it's this. I don't know what this is. Let's not think about it too much. We're learning the game. Let's just take Wolf because I don't know what this is. Okay, that didn't seem to do anything. Okay, lesson learned. The other two cards are more interesting, but we took a chance. Oh well. So this is Campfire, which we've never been to before. I don't know what we do here. And then this looks like another sacrifice. I could empower Stoat again, see where that takes us. I don't know what Campfire is, though. Let's go to Campfire just because I'm unsure as to what it means. You came across a small group of survivors. Faces shrunken from starvation, they huddled around a campfire. They looked upon your group of creatures and beckoned. Come, warm one of your creatures by the fire, one said. Warm it by the fire, that will enhance its power, said another. You noticed one of the survivors wiping drool from their mouth. Okay. Okay, he does not look happy to go. Enhance its power. Okay, if that means increase its attack, it makes sense that I should give it to River Snapper because it's got this bulky defense stat, so it'll stick around longer, so its attacks will matter more. Let's do this. Cat is also an interesting one, but I think this makes sense to me. The fire warmed the poor River Snapper, enhancing its power. One of the survivors reached towards it. Another gnashed their teeth. Without a word, you pulled the River Snapper away from the fire and left. Okay, so they didn't take my card. Let's see, Grandfur. Okay, so these are just blockers that I get that restrict my early plays, it looks like. Mighty Leap, a card bearing this sigil will block an opposing creature bearing the air. Okay, so it's Reach from Magic the Gathering. Walks flying. He's got a flyer coming in here that'll chip away at this Grandfur. Grizzly is a 4/6. Holy shit. That's huge. That's really big. I don't know how to deal with Grizzly. That's huge. It costs nothing? Okay, so this is a learning opportunity. Maybe I'm meant to lose here or something like that. I don't draw on my first turn, so I can't play Wolf. So let's just play Cat, I guess. Cat sort of restricts me, but yeah, let's just play Cat. This is fine. Oh, it'll probably teach me to use squirrels as sacrificial blockers or something like that. He's got more grizzlies coming in. Jesus Christ. Okay, so what do I want to do here? Grizzly will kill me unless I throw somebody away here, basically. I can't play. So either I draw squirrel and I play wolf, which will deal with half of grizzly, which I can then do the same thing on the following turn. So grizzly ends up killing wolf, and he plays another grizzly. I kill the first one. Let's do this. So I'm going to use 2 wolves to try and kill grizzly. I get halfway through this one. He hits me there. Man, this is bad. These things are giant. This is cheating, man. Dude, straight cheating. Drawing squirrel will let me play wolf, but I'll lose to grizzly. Which means I need this squirrel, 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 wolf, kill. He's got another sparrow coming in. This is really bad. What is this? Let's do this. Take this. Snap this. Squirrels here. Wolf sacrifice cat and squirrel. So my wolf will kill his grizzly. Following turn, grizzly will kill squirrel. Sparrow will deal 1 to me because it's flying. Which means he'll win. How does this work? Oh! Holy shit! A well-earned point of damage. I didn't think you would really do it. Okay, so I just ripped my own tooth out. Alright. This is bad. I think I lose. This counters this. It's getting in for 3. So he gets in for 1, 2, 3 next turn. If I throw a sacrificial squirrel here, I get in for 3 this turn, so it's actually null that way. Let's do this. Squirrel here. Okay, still not dead, but he has 2 grizzlies coming in. Okay, there's no way I can possibly win, right? There's a way out for both of us. It's somewhere in this foul cabin. Be silent, or I will tear you to shreds. It's somewhere in this foul cabin. How's it going, Gustafsson? Good to see you. We're playing Inscryption. It is another roguelike deck builder, similar to Slay the Spire or Monster Train, but there is a spooky twist to it. It's sort of a meta horror game going on around the card game itself. So it looks like I am absolutely losing this match. Maybe if I get Stoat onto the board, something interesting will happen. Let's not kill Stoat. Let's see how this goes. Spot, you sure? No. But you'll die otherwise, my friend. Oh, what is book? What the? Oh, okay. This is just mechanics. Okay, I don't see any other way. Did I neglect to mention overkill damage? Oh! Interesting. Excess damage is not wasted. So it looks like all of my creatures have sort of a trample effect, similar to Magic's trample. But instead of dealing excess damage to him, it deals it to the next queued card that he's going to play. Very interesting. Yeah, interesting. Is it lucky for me? Pretty sure I'm fucked. You've lost. Using this as a learning opportunity may be the only way to mitigate my disappointment. Get up. Get up from the table. Okay, I've learned a new key. Fetch me the candlestick from atop the barrel beside the door. How does this work? Oh. Okay. Whoa. Okay, so this has just become like a point-and-click adventure, sort of. Oh. Okay, so we're in a cabin. Some of these are vaguely interactable. This whole direction is dark. I can't get to the door. Candlestick. This, I guess. Thought? No? Oh. Okay, interesting. I see. It's more than point and click. Okay, so this is, we're sitting at a table here. This is giving some more perspective. So he's here, I'm here while we're playing the board game. I can't get out. These are the little toy soldiers from that camp. This is a very boring painting. Or very modern, one of the two. I can just totally screw up his time. This is hours, looks like, or sorry, hours, minutes, seconds, maybe? So if we set it to midnight, this isn't going off or anything. There's a safe here. Right, there's a lot going on here. Let's see. Wolf in a cage. Good old spinny globe. You like the polish? We like the polish here. It's good game polish. Looks like there's a knife here. This is feeling sort of mist-ish. If there's a puzzle I'm supposed to solve, I'm not seeing it. Bring it here. Okay. Here you go, man. Am I supposed to sit down? Now sit back down. Let me explain something to you. That was one of the two mistakes you can make here. If you make another, I must sacrifice you. Okay. Take me to dinner first, huh? Now, where were we? Okay, so there's a live system. Looks like I can lose one extra life before he sacrifices me, whatever that means. Oh, and now, from now on, it looks like I can just walk around the room. Interesting. So we've got a whole nother out of the game mechanic going on here. Super interesting. I like it. This will empower my cards. This will give me items, I think. I used all of my items, so maybe it makes sense to try and pick up some more. The watchful bullfrog. It leaps in the way of attacking flyers. Okay, so it has reach, basically. And the adder. I did just lose to some flyers. So maybe the bullfrog makes sense as an early blocker. I can sacrifice it later on. I'm sort of stuck with these big, bulky creatures. All these 2 sacrificers. Stoat and Cat are the only 1-drops. God, these stats are just not compelling at all, though. Adder would have saved me from Bear, though. Maybe there's an argument for Adder. Elk was the card I was going to pick last time. Let's do Adder. Adder will kill a grizzly, which now I am very afraid of. Yeah, it is sort of escape room vibes. Yeah, that's true. How's it going, Bogle? Hope you're having a good day. Good night, wherever you are. A rock may get you out of a hard place. Okay, so this is just sort of a sacrificial blocker. If you deem it necessary, you may cut up one of my cards with these. Okay. So this will let me stop him from playing something directly onto the board, it sounds like. Choose one. I gotta say, before we go on, just listen to these sound effects. Very satisfying, very well done. Somebody was thinking through the sound design, and just like when you're walking around, I don't think I can get up right now, but like the floor shifts and creaks. You can hear the patter of rain and lightning outside. I really don't like Boulder. I think this is going to like sort of gum up my board, I think, more than help. I think this makes the most sense. Just like kill one of his threats before it hits the board. A powerful item. Turn this, and I'll skip my next turn. A gust from this may lift your creatures into the air if only for a turn. Okay, so this makes him skip a turn. This gives my creatures flying temporarily. This skip seems super good. Let's take the skip. Oh, this is awesome. So this totally refills all of my items. Its bleeding yields 3 blood if you can ignore the bleeding. Oh. So this will let me summon a creature with up to 3 blood by sacrificing it. So it's sort of like an accelerator. It's a way to turn 1 squirrel into 2 for me right now, basically. This is a little harder. This is sort of a way to clinch out a win. And I am playing a little aggressively right now. Let's take the black goat. It seems cool, right? Let's take the cool one. Feeling overburdened enough with a full 3 items you carried on. Okay, is this a boss? It sort of looks like a boss. The icon's a little larger. Oh, okay. Holy smokes. What a beautiful effect. The trees seem to close in around you as a chill mist descended. In the distance, you could hear the clinking of metal on stone. A hobbled figure stood in your path. Hee haw, 'twas the prospector. He's got sort of the mask of the father on. The mule's key. He's doing the prospector again. Okay, coyote, pack mule, sprinter. Okay, pack mule is just going to serve as a blocker. I wonder how these two will interact. Will pack mule jump coyote, or kill it, or push it over? That will be interesting to see. What do we have? We have stoat. Let's just get stoat out. That seems good. The interesting thing here, stoat has the fledgling effect. Yeah. So this card will grow, supposedly grow after one turn, but I don't know if that is a buff on its current stats or if it turns it into a new card. So what I'm wondering is, it's a 1/3 right now. It's going to take 2 damage from this coyote on the prospector's turn. So it'll be a 1/1. Will this make it a 2/5, or will it make it a 2/3? Like, will the past damage continue to remain on it, or will it just completely be erased? Oh, interesting. Okay, so pack mule got blocked by coyote, so it looks like it tried to turn around, so now it's headed the other direction. Okay, so it looks like it's a buff, not a transformation effect, which means that the 2 damage from coyote is still present on it. That's okay. We learned something. It's sort of what we're doing right now. Let's draw. This is an adder. This is pretty bad. I might need to sacrifice stoat on my next turn. I was hoping to find cat. Okay, so this doesn't kill me if it hits him, which would be very powerful. Oh, no. I like Stoat's meta commentary. He just like straight up diss the prospector. Let's see. So the question is, do I want to kill adder this turn by playing wolf? Or do I want to wait another turn and leave stoat out, basically? I am currently winning right now, so I think it's okay to take a little bit of damage from these guys in order to keep Elder Stoat on the field, because he's doing work right now. He's doing a good job. So let's just play squirrel, end the game, or end the turn rather. Okay, so this is another interesting thing. Pack mule took a move. Will wolf be blocked by pack mule now? Or will pack mule get pushed aside or destroyed? I should be able to play wolf now, like this. So we get in for 2 with stoat, wolf kills coyote. Yeah, interesting. So wolf was actually blocked by pack mule. Pack mule is like just causing him to be delayed. Feels pretty good. Okay, so wolf is going to come in here with 3. I can take up to 4 damage. Next turn I will take 4, but wolf will get in for 3 this turn, so actually that will be fine. But right now I'm planning to play another wolf. I want my wolf to kill his wolf, which means that I need to pass again, basically. This guy will come up, will deal 3 to me. This guy will deal 1 to me. this turn my wolf will get in for 3 and basically nullify his wolf, and then on the following turn I'll be able to play squirrel, squirrel, wolf here, kill his wolf. Let me know if I'm going too fast or too slow on any of this. I'm trying to leave some commentary as we go, just because it's a beautiful game, but I also don't know if me speaking out loud on these train of thoughts is confusing or not. Okay, his pack mule is going to block Wolf Cub again here. So now I can take Squirrel. We can do exactly that plan, which was Squirrel, Squirrel, Wolf, sacrifice 2 squirrels. Now we'll get a kill on pack mule. Actually, so yeah, this will be able to come through. Stoat will deal 2, and Wolf will kill his wolf. Whoa. What the fuck? Whoa. Dang nabbit my mule. Oh, interesting. So killing a mule gave me like a care package of cards. Is there a way to see his discard pile or his kill pile? I'm wondering if that the care package effect was listed on the mule or not. Okay. Getting the squirrel seems like the most relevant thing here. I think we should just start getting him for damage. Looks like I'll have to sacrifice Stoat to do that though. Let's just play Sparrow like this. Oh, and I can draw. So here's Wolf. Wolf is great. We love Wolf here. Squirrel. Let's just play a Sparrow here. So Sparrow will kill Adder, and we'll get in for... Oh no, Sparrow will dodge Adder because it's got flying. So we'll get in for 9 here. Should be enough to win the game, actually. I hope you didn't think it would be that easy. Oh, interesting. That's gold in them cards. Okay, so this dude's cheating. This is just straight up cheating. Gold. I've struck gold. The prospector just absolutely murdered Stoat. Vogley, sorry. I'm pretty sure Stoat's sleeping with the fishes. Or with the adders in this case. When an opposing creature is placed opposite to an empty space, a card bearing the sigil will move to that empty space. Okay, so if I play anything at all in one of these 3 spaces, well, yeah. So like if this was empty and Bloodhound was here, and I played something here, Bloodhound should move to block it basically, so it's a defensive creature. I don't know what Gold Nugget means, but it looks like I can't do anything. These are all sacrificial creatures, so I need to take some squirrels. What I really need to do is find Cat. Cat would supercharge this. Okay, the game was reset here. Bloodhound will die to a second wolf, and I'm not too worried about Adder, so let's just get a wolf out, like this. Squirrel. Squirrel. Wolf. Wolf has been MVP of this deck so far. These adders are sort of a little spooky, but they're so weak that I can just ignore these spaces more or less, and get in with these powerful hits from high attack creatures. I sort of need him to clear up space on my board. If I play anything here, it would have to be Sparrow, and it would die immediately to Adder, because Sparrow is flying, so it won't be able to hit the Adder. Because of that, I think I'm just going to take a squirrel and pass, like this. Yeah, so now he's clearing up some nice space for me. He doesn't have anything coming in, so I should be able to just sort of overrun him, I hope. It's a little annoying though. The problem with playing elk here is that if I play it here and it kills Adder, it will then move one space over and be killed by the next Adder. Oh, but once it hits the edge of the board, it has a turn where it turns around, I think. Let's see if this works. So if I play two squirrels like this, I get elk out like this. So I think elk will kill Adder, and instead of, it has nowhere to move, so it'll get confused, and this arrow will flip to point left. Let's see if that works. Nope, just moved right over. Okay, we learned something. That's okay, we're learning. No problem there. There's wolf cub, not too scary. Unfortunately, on this draw screen, so typically there's four sort of views I can look through. There's my hand, there's the board, there's close-up on the board, and then the far board. When I would usually be looking at sort of everything from this perspective, during the draw phase, it's pointing to these two instead, indicating I should draw one of these. But in this state, I'm not able to actually see what the health total is, which is pretty annoying. I want to know whether I should basically get Sparrow out now or look for Black Cat. I'll do this, but it was sort of a strange issue. I'm going to have to get better at remembering life totals, basically. Also, I ran out of squirrels? I didn't know I could do that. I think we win here anyway, but interesting enough. I'm doing a lot of learning. This is great. I love it. Got him. Allow me to light your candles once more. I won't be killing you quite yet. Okay, so after I kill a boss, it looks like my lives get reset. You're the first in a while to overcome a boss. As a reward, you are granted an opportunity to select a rare card. Oh, I love it. Maybe we'll find Blue Eyes White Dragon. Choose carefully. Whoa. This level of brutish strength needs no explanation. Urayuli. So one hit from Urayuli will, in most cases, end the game. However, it dies to Adder, and I need to sacrifice every card on my board in order to play it. In a lot of these matches, we've had those sort of rocks or trees or bits of gold blocking the board, which is preventing me from playing cards there. So I don't think Urayuli is the pick, despite it being a very Timmy card in the MTG terms. Like, it's very big and cool, but it doesn't seem very powerful just because it's not very flexible, hard to get out. Although we do have this goat over here. This goat is worth 3 blood, so using that would basically only require 1 extra sacrifice for Urayuli. Strange larva, a largely unimpressive specimen. Poor abandoned child. It does not die when sacrificed, but do you have the heart to try? Child 13. Okay, strange larva is fledgling. the fact that it's rare makes me think maybe the thing it turns into still has fledgling, so maybe the larva like continues to grow or something like that. It's pretty interesting. Many lives. When a card bearing the sigil is sacrificed, it does not perish. So this is basically like second cat. Cat is very strong. I don't know if 2 cats is the right move. The problem with cat is that it takes up a spot on the board. I kind of like strange larva. It's like I've been missing sort of these 1 sacrifice creatures. It's something to get out early with the squirrel. If I have to sacrifice it for a wolf, it doesn't feel too bad at a 0/3. It just looks very interesting. I mean, Urayuli is the coolest. Child 13 is maybe the best for a big deck, but this one seems mid-range enough to be attractive, or at least the most efficient creature, maybe something like that. Let's take this. With sound of the prospector's pickaxe still ringing in your ears, you carried onwards. So I did. He says it, and it is true. The rank smell of rot and molds permeated the humid air. Every step forward was answered by some nearby slip or slither. You tread cautiously into the wetlands. Okay, interesting. So I think this is borrowing from Slay the Spire again, which has this idea of acts. So there's these big maps like this, and you start at the bottom, you trek all the way up to a boss, you beat the boss, and then you go to a new act, or in this case, a new map, which has a different set of enemies, a different set of flavor to the events, just a whole different environment. Which is great. That sort of formula works really well. You can get to know the individual enemies in the map. Pretty good. Okay, before we start this, I kind of want to look around the house a little more and make sure that nothing has changed by us beating an act. It's a weird painting. It seems like most of this is just flavorful, but it's hard to tell. This is the squirrel knife. Ooh. I put out a candle. Should I have done that? Seems bad. These are my items. This is the dude. Wolf still caged. Oh, interesting. I didn't notice this before, but the globe does not seem to depict Earth. These are, or maybe it's just a piece of art or something, but it's styled like a globe, and these are not bits of land or sea that I recognize. Spooky. Vogelay, I think that's true. I think basically if I lose my 2 lives, represented by these 2 bits of candle, I'll lose everything. I'll be sacrificed, is the terminology that our friend here used, and I'll need to start over at the beginning. I'll need to beat the first act again, which might involve fighting the prospector again, or there could be a different boss. In Slay the Spire, each act has 1 of 3 possible bosses at the end, so even though we might need to replay the act if I lose, it could be the case that there's still some flavor, still some learning to do in each act. We'll see. But of course I'm not going to lose, right? I'll just win. No problem. Okay, new cards. The Fervid Mantis. Its prying claws strike both to the left and the right. Interesting. Bifurcated strike. Okay, so it's sort of like it's got like a bishop flare from chess. It's hitting the diagonal cards, but it's not striking in front of it. This is interesting because it's sort of like double strike on an empty board, so if he has nothing to block on his side, this is hitting the enemy twice and taking away 2 health. It also has the ability to slip past blockers and deal damage while damaging other things. This is very interesting. It's very positioning heavy. River otter. Ah, the elusive otter. It submerges itself during my turn. Oh, interesting. Waterborne. A card bearing this sigil submerges itself during its opponent's turn. While submerged, opposing creatures attack its owner directly. Okay, so it's got sort of a stealth vibe to it. I think that's actually bad. Not always. It doesn't seem very compelling. It would be good if this was a high attack creature. So if it was like a 3/1, for example, it would deal damage, and then because it's so weak, it would hide and get to deal that high damage again. But because it's only 1 attack, it being hidden and protected from damage isn't really very compelling. A pick. Helpful. A nascent fawn. It quickly grows into an elk. So this becomes elk. After 1 turn, this fledgling effect has got this movement going on. I think Mantis. Mantis seems cool. Yeah, let's take Mantis. I've got some tea here. Alright, so we can upgrade a card, or we can pick up items. We're actually full on items. We've got 3 already, so I don't think there's any advantage to going here. Let's just upgrade a fellow. You know, I didn't consider, if we had picked up that otter, we could have upgraded him to have higher attack, so that submerge ability could have had more value. But that's okay. A group of starving survivors. There's room for a creature on the fire. Okay, so this is the same dialogue as last time. Stoach does not want to go. I think Mantis is actually quite strong here because it's got those 2 attacks. Increasing its power is very valuable. We did River Snapper last time, which was fine for the time. Cat's also kind of interesting. Let's do Mantis. I like this. This seems good. The power of the Mantis was enhanced by the warmth. Okay, so Mantis is a 2/1 now. Great. So that's very powerful. And we drew Mantis. What a move. Okay, yeah, so check this out. This is so cool. I'm going to pick up a squirrel next turn, but being able to play Mantis on this square right here means that it will be able to attack these squares, and it will be protected by Stump. So this is actually just dealing a ton of damage with almost no vulnerability at all. It feels very strong. Holy smokes. Yep, we made the right pick here, I think. Let's just pick up a squirrel. Mantis gets to kill Bullfrog. Mantis gets to kill Adder. Oh my god, Mantis is so good. Coyote is going to be tied up with Stump for 2 turns. I don't think there's any need to do anything but keep accumulating squirrels in the meantime. Oh, I just killed him. Okay, Aggro Mantis. That's the deck we want to play. Trap. You were stopped along the way by a trapper looking to liquidate his pelts. There was something uncanny about his appearance, but you were quickly distracted by his wares. care to look at my pelts? He's put on another mask. He only did that during a boss fight last time. The trapper dealt in teeth, the type collected from battle. They are gained by dealing damage greater than what is needed to win a match. Okay, interesting. Take a pelt free of charge. See the quality. Okay, so I had been noticing this. When I deal overkill damage in order to end a game, the excess golden teeth, he sort of like, he puts a bowl out and the teeth fall into the bowl and then he retracts it. I thought that was just sort of a animated flavor, but it looks like it's a mechanic. It's sort of like money, so I'm accumulating money when I deal way more damage than I need to end the game. Makes me wish I kind of picked up Ura Yuli as that rare, but that's okay. So we're still learning. Let's see. Oh, great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 12 gold, 12 monies. Can I put them back in random order? It doesn't look like I can. I don't know what the pelt does. Golden pelt, wolf pelt, rabbit pelt. I don't understand what I'm supposed to be doing here. Let's buy wolf pelt. I can't afford golden pelt. Oh, wait, I can afford golden pelt. I don't know what I'm doing with money yet. So just in case there's another use, I'm not gonna buy the golden pelt. I'm gonna do this. Thanks for your business. The man assured you of the value of the pelts. They appeared to be useless in a fight, but he mentioned that the trader further down the path would reward you for them. Okay. Interesting. This is a mechanic that was used in Monster Train, which is another roguelike deck builder in the genre. Basically, early in the game, in Monster Train, in one of the runs, you had the chance to pick up a very weak card, and then later on in the game, you would be rewarded for basically carrying around this weak card in your deck. It would be upgraded to a very powerful card. So it looks like that's what they're doing here. I bought 2 pelts. The pelts don't do anything. So basically, if I draw them from my deck, it's a dead draw. It's not good for me. However, a couple events down the road, I'll be able to trade them in for something valuable. Because my deck is so small relative to the number of pelts I have here, it sounds like this was not very good, but we're learning. It's fine. This is items again. You can't take more than 3 items, and you have 3. Perhaps instead you'll accept this gift from my friend. Pack rat. It's a pack rat. The prudent pack rat never doubt the utility of a well-stocked pack. What is pack rat? Trinket bearer. When a card bearing the sigil is played, you will receive a random item as long as you have less than 3 items. Okay, interesting. So in games where I am sure to win, it might actually be more strategic in the long run to sort of slow things down, wait to draw pack rat, and then play it in order to get another item. That's pretty cool. It's a weak card, 2/2 for 2 sacrifice, but this is a very powerful effect. Reminds me of the card Alchemize in Slay the Spire, which was a rare. This is a fight. This we have never seen before, so in the interest of being scientists, let's do the new thing. Okay, so this is a totem that grants flight. Only to his creatures of a certain type. Oh, I'm sorry, this blocks flight, rather. Let's see what we have. Squirrel, stoat, pack rat, wolf pelt. So the other question is, can wolf pelt be sacrificed? Hard to say. It's not obvious. My items they seem very good right now, so I'm not really inclined to play pack rat. I think it's just better to draw a card. Oh, sorry, first turn. Let us play stoat. Our friend the stoat. So, total misplay. Screw you, dude. Stoat will deal 1 damage to the enemy, and then on the following turn he'll upgrade, and he'll be able to kill the bullfrog in a single hit. So I don't think it was a misplay. See, Stoat's being a real sort of asshole. I'm not sure. I mean, I did sacrifice him multiple times, so maybe he's got some reason to be pissed off, but we'll see. Yep, so Stoat has leveled up here. Okay, we've got Coyote and Alpha. What is Alpha? Leader. Creatures adjacent to a card bearing the sigil gain 1 power. Okay, interesting. So we very much like to kill Alpha when it comes out. Pack rat is not doing us a lot right now. Let's draw from our deck. River Snapper is much better. However, we're going to need to play it. Yeah, this will be interesting. Rattler. Rattler will become a 4/1 because of Alpha and kill my Stoat. That's really bad. This is interesting. I think it's time to use an item, actually. I think it's time to use Black Goat. And that will look like this. We'll draw a squirrel. We will play the squirrel like this. We'll pop Black Goat. Black Goat requires a sacrifice to play, like this. And then River Snapper. This should work, I believe. Yes. Okay, so basically we use that item to turn 1 squirrel into 2, which lets us play River Snapper here, get rid of that Alpha, which allows our Elder Stoat to survive this Rattler hit next turn. We're going to keep Stoat alive this time, I swear. Great. Let's see, Adder. Adder is poisonous again. That's really bad against River Snapper, unfortunately. We don't really have much to do here. I think I'll pick up a squirrel, though. Pack rat, if we need to, we can sacrifice Stoat and a squirrel to play pack rat and get rid of this coyote next turn, if it becomes necessary. This is a closer one. These fights are getting a little bit harder. So we're dead even. Bullfrog. Yeah, so Bullfrog is just going to kill Stoat. Unfortunately, I think that means we need to sacrifice Stoat. And I think that means playing Pack Rat to kill Adder. But that means we get to draw a regular card. Oh shit, dude, it's the fucking Mantis. So we very much want to play Mantis on one of these 2 squares, but then it will die to Adder. Which is, yeah, unfortunately we can't play Mantis like this. That's really sad. Oh, but we'll get to play it here, on the following turn. But then it'll die to Bullfrog. Okay, there's a lot going on. Let's just keep things simple. We're going to play Squirrel. We're going to play Pack Rat, like this. Sorry, Stoat. You had a good run. Packrat gave me an item as well, which I might need to use because this fight is not going well. Oh, it's another time turner, one of the, he skips his turn effects. Yeah, this is rough. This is pretty rough. Mantis only has 1 health. Let's play things safe here. I think this will work out. I think if I, right, because I'll deal 2, he'll get back at me for 2, so nothing doing. Yeah, okay, I'm going to take a squirrel. I'm actually going to play Mantis here. So Mantis is protected by Stump, and it doesn't get the double attack bonus, but it will be able to sort of chip away at the square continuously. I think that's pretty strong. So he's close to winning here, which is not good. Youch, that is bad. I think I need to use time turner here. I'll pass my next turn. Okay, so by doing that, I will... This will deal 2 on his turn. I'm going to play Wolf Pelt as a blocker here. End the turn. I'm obligated to pass. Yes, you are. And then I'm going to attempt to... I don't know if this will work, but let's find out. I can't sacrifice Wolf Pelt, unfortunately. Which means Squirrel is just going to die to Coyote here. Okay, that's fine. We learned something. So Wolf Pelt can go on the board as a defender, but it can't be used as a sacrifice. Yeah, this game's pretty fun. It's not too complicated, but there's a lot of like meta aspects to keep track of that are fun. I can take 4 total. This is really, actually, this is pretty rough. I think I actually need to sacrifice Mantis like this. So Wolf kills Coyote. Wolf gets in for 3, which nullifies any damage he's doing with these. I need to draw new cards like this. Adder is not really what we want. It looks like he's sort of out of things to do, and we're at a standstill here between Wolf and his cards, so maybe it just makes sense to draw squirrels and let things play out like this. There's a lot of teeth in the game right now. I see the way this is going. I can see... Oh! You may accept my surrender. Or you may finish this match the slow way. This is really interesting. So he can see that we're at a standstill. I'm dealing the same amount of damage that he is dealing back to me, which is what I was saying earlier. Theoretically, the game could go forever because there's the win condition is net damage. It's not absolute damage one way or the other. there's advantage to me continuing to play because I can deal more than the required damage and get that extra gold. But I don't know if there's a meta aspect to me accepting surrender. This guy's sort of an asshole, so I'm just going to keep playing like this. He just keeps his hand out. So yeah, this sort of surrender mechanic is the way that they guarantee that a game can't go on forever. Eventually you'll get bored and you'll just shake his hand. Wolf. So next turn I'm going to win regardless, but because the overkill damage gives me gold, what I want to do is deal as much damage as possible to him on this turn. In order to do that, I'm actually going to switch out the adder for a wolf like this. So this will actually deal a ton of overkill damage to him, and we'll get some extra gold. Yeah. Cool. That was a tough fight. That was a harder one. Okay, so that sigil we learned is Totem fight, I think, versus regular fight. You encountered a small outpost in the woods tended by a mysterious woman. It was the trader that the old trapper had mentioned. Wow, so we're already getting the payoff here. Her appearance was unsettling, but you were mollified by her offerings. Do you mind if I examine those pelts of yours? Let's start with your hair pelts. Here's what I can offer. Ooh, I can trade you any of these, take your time. Okay, so the for future reference, picking up the pelts gives me a good card. Wow. I haven't even seen some of these effects before. Moose buck. Hefty. At the end of the owner's turn, a card bearing this sigil will move in the direction inscribed in the sigil. Creatures in the way will be pushed in the same direction. Okay, so this is the movement ability. However, instead of getting blocked by creatures, it actually just moves everybody down the line. That's pretty cool. Porcupine. Sharp quills. Once a card bearing the sigil is struck, the striker is then dealt a single damage point. Okay, so this is a Thorns effect. Very popular, very common in games. Elk fawn is the fledgling elk. Bullfrog, elk, cat, raven. Raven is a stronger flyer. That's pretty compelling. I think I have too many of these 2 sacrifice cards, honestly. There's been a few turns where it's like I've got to wait 2 turns to pick up 2 squirrels in order to play wolf or something like that. So I think it would behoove me to grab one of these 1-cost cards. Of these, I think Porcupine seems the strongest. This would be a way to deal with Adder, which would kill Porcupine, but would kill Adder in retribution. Yeah, it just seems like sort of a useful card to deal with early game aggression. So let's pick up Porcupine. And then I've got Wolf Pelt. Ooh, upgraded. Skunk. Stinky. The creature opposing a card bearing the sigil loses 1 power. Ah, okay, interesting. I mean, Mantis worked really well before. Mantis with Flight is a great way to deal early damage. Beaver with Bifurcated is insane. Wait, dam builder. When a card bearing the sigil is played, a dam is created on each empty adjacent space. A dam is defined as 0 power 2 health. So this is a way to create blockers. And it's got this Bifurcated Strike. This is pretty strong. Poisonous Moosebuck. Elk fawn. Trinket bear. Holy smokes. This gives me an item for one sacrifice. And it becomes an elk. Raven egg becomes raven. Raven Egg does not need flight. Moving Sparrow. This is pretty hard. I like Mantis because we've proven already Mantis is very strong. Bifurcated Strike Beaver seems pretty good, especially when Beaver's creating blockers on either side of it. But it's this 2 sacrifice. I think Elk Fawn is the best sort of mid-range aggressor here. Let's take Elk Fawn. These pelts are most excellent, my thanks. That was really good, so very powerful to buy those pelts. We've got an upgrade, or we've got a sacrifice. Our deck is getting pretty big. Let's do a sacrifice. Let's give it a shot. Sacrificing Adder would give Adder's ability to somebody. Poisonous is very strong. We still haven't seen what Strange Larva does. We really don't want to sacrifice our upgraded Mantis. Pack Rat's fine. Let's do the Adder. I think that makes sense to me. Who do we want to have poisonous? I mean, obviously Mantis is sort of the gold standard, right? Because it's attacking twice, so it can kill 2 things fully. It only costs 1 blood, so easy to get out there. Porcupine could also be good. Let's do Mantis. Let's just totally buff the hell out of this card. We're putting all our eggs in a single basket. Okay. Let's see, we've got Kingfisher, which is flying and waterborne, submersible. So these guys are going to continue to peck away at me. And then classic Coyote. Let's see, what do we want to do here? Porcupine would be a way to kill Coyote outright as a blocker. That's compelling. But it dies itself, so... should have sacrificed the cat? Yeah. You know, that's a fair point. Giving another thing undying would be very strong, and that cat isn't really doing a lot on its own, so... I hadn't thought of that. The cat sacrifice might have been very good. Yeah. Learning for next time. Good call, Abraham. I kind of want to just aggressively get a wolf out here and start chipping away at this fella. That's what I... never mind. Can't do that. Let's do the porcupine block. Like this. Deal 1, Coyote kills itself on porcupine like this. A thorny rebuke, yes indeed. So these fellas, we shouldn't have to worry about it too much as long as we're dealing consistent damage. Sparrow's another flyer, not too spooky. Let's just get wolf out there as soon as possible, which is going to mean squirrel. 1, 2, 3. Like this. Yeah, so this is what I'm talking about with the 2 sacrifice cards. So I'm 1 away from losing. He's dealing 3 next turn. This River Otter would be 4. However, if I play Wolf like this, Wolf is going to deal 3 to nullify the damage that these fellows would do, and it'll block the hit from River Otter and take out the River Otter on the next turn. So that's something. Although, honestly, that doesn't help much here. So the problem I'm seeing is that that will prevent Wolf from dealing 3, which means these guys will finish me off. Because of that, I think I need to use an item to prevent a play here, in order for Wolf to strike twice and give me time, like this. Oh, is this just a kill? I can kill anything. Let's do this. Can I not cut this? Okay, it looks like I can only cut active cards. Didn't know that. Is that good? Means I deal 3. Puts me 4 away. He deals 2, puts me 2 away. I draw, I still lose. If I use the other time turner, how does that work? I deal 3. He skips his turn. I draw a squirrel. I deal 3 again. So that puts me 7 away. He deals 3. I play Pack Rat, kill this. We're in a much better spot if I do that. So I think I actually have to use this time turner. Unfortunately, because it's a very powerful item. But playing Pack Rat in 2 turns will give me an item back at least. So I have to pass here. He's obligated to pass. I draw squirrel. I must end my turn again. He gets in with his hits. I draw second squirrel, and I play Pack Rat, like this. Sweet. What is this? Frozen opossum bottle. To the user, a frozen opossum is created in your hand. A frozen opossum is defined as 0 power, 5 health, frozen away. Don't know what frozen away means, but that's okay. So it just sounds like a blocker, which would not be terrible here. The Pack Rat's going to kill Sparrow. Wolf is going to get in for 3. We're going to be in an okay spot for the next turn. But we're still bleeding here, which is the problem. Okay, so he's got only submersible creatures now. What that means is I just need to out-deal him on damage, and I'll win. Cat is not really what we want here. Cat would have been good a second ago. So how are we looking? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're 5 away from death. I deal 2, go to 7 away. He deals 4, go to 3 away. I deal 2, go to 5 away. He deals 4, go to 1 away. So basically I have 3 turns. What that allows me is 2 squirrels and a draw. I think I need to pass here and see what I draw next. It could be the case that I need to use one of those items again, frozen opossum, which would stink. We got the River Snapper. River Snapper should be sufficient. So again, I'll deal 2, go to 6, he'll deal 4, right? Can I look at this? Another sort of bug, maybe visualization issue, is that I can't actually see the cards underneath here, which means it's harder for me to plan if I don't have a good memory. I think this is 1, 1, 1, 1. So I'm at 4 away, go to 6 away, take 4, go to 2 away. Deal 2, go to 4 away, take 4, die. Oh, I see. Even worse. So these are actually hitting my creatures, that was the problem. Man, this is really bad. I think I might lose here. The only alternative would be to use these scissors. This is not a good position. This is not a good position. Three away from death. Taking 4 a turn. I can put up some sacrificial blockers. I can put up one of these. I think I need to do this. Frozen opossum. Oh, I didn't even know that. And this. Got him. Okay, so I now have 0 items. I will take 2 next turn. I might still lose. This is rough. I take 2, I go to 1 away. I play Snapper, I still take 1 from this. So I still lose. No, unless I play Snapper on this row, then it nullifies damage. I see the line. Okay, we're good. So 1 away from death. I draw squirrel. I play squirrel, squirrel, Snapper on the exposed lane. Deal 2 to him. 3 away from death. And now we're at a standstill again. He should offer his hand now. It's me. Stoat. Good old Stoat. So now we're at a standstill. We should be able to nullify his damage every turn. You had me here, I surrender. Not quite, sir. Not quite. Let's get Stoat out there. Fine. Alright, so now we're tipping it back in the other direction. It only cost us all of our items. What do we want? We want wolf. Wolf is what we want. There's the 1/1 opossum. We draw. We're sending it that way. That should be enough to win. Okay. That was close. What are we learning about our deck? We're finding out that it's difficult to draw cards in the game. Because so many of our cards, especially in the opening hands, just statistically are 2-cost sacrifices. We need to spend all of our draws picking up squirrels, which means we're not drawing cards, which means we run out of fuel, which is bad. Means I've sort of misjudged the power of those 2 sacrifice cards. We really need to be picking up some good mid-range 1 sacrifice cards going forward in order to try and tip the speed of our deck back towards aggressive and deal with some of these early threats. Because in the long game, we're always managing to pinch out a victory once we get our cards like Wolf and River Snapper down. But it's the early game where we're getting overwhelmed by these creatures. So only 1-cost cards from now on. Black Goat. The Apothesized Ghost, the truest offering. Sacrificing it grants 3 blood. Okay, we could just put the goat in our deck. The goat is actually very strong in our deck. River Otter and Adder. So we've seen that River Otter actually has a bit more strength than I initially assumed. but I think goat makes the most sense. It's basically a card that's allowing us to turn one squirrel into two, and squirrels are very good in our deck full of 2 sacrifice cards. So let's give the goat a try. Even though it's a bad sort of late game top deck. We've got sacrifice, we've got items. We're completely out of items, so let's go pick up those items. They really did save us at the end there. Okay. We've got we've got the tooth puller, which deals 1 damage to the enemy. Not very compelling. We've got black goat, which is very powerful in our deck, again, for what I described a second ago. And then we've got fan, which lets us sort of pinch out a win at the last second. I think goat makes the most sense. Squirrel in a bottle is nice. This actually was very helpful. We're going to take the scissors. And squirrel, goat, teeth puller. Let's take another goat. Yeah, I think goat makes sense. Goat should always just be sort of better squirrel, right? Oh, this is the boss. My boss battles are high-stakes tests of your aptitude. I just spent all that time spending my items to conserve my life, and he just gets rid of one of my lives. Okay. Noted. I shouldn't push too hard to survive fights, I guess. With 1 flame, you will either overcome them or die. Fear not, I will let you keep the smoke. What a nice guy. A foul smell invaded your nostrils and caused your throat to seize. A hulking man sat by a brackish pond with his feet submerged in the dark water. He pulled a hook from a pile of rotting fish and rose to his feet. He's the angler. Go fish. Oh man. Okay, what's he doing? He's got Kingfisher. Kingfisher is just going to continuously damage me. It's a very aggressive card. Hides itself and flies. The smoke. Oh, I see. So when I get to a boss fight, if he extinguishes one of these lives, I get to keep his 0/1 blocker. That's actually pretty strong. It's sort of like the coin in Hearthstone. It's like an extra sacrifice. I think it seems like it's sacrificable, maybe. Let's test it out. Let's just put the smoke here. Can I play elk? Yeah, okay, so the smoke can be sacrificed. It doesn't help me much to play elk fawn right here, right now, because I have 3 items. So I won't get any benefit from this effect. So we're just going to rush out, I guess, a wolf. The alternative is river snapper. Wolf feels really good on this lane. So this Kingfisher is going to fly over the wolf every time and submerge itself every other time, which means it's taking up this space. But it's not actually dealing any damage to this card, so this card's going to get in every single time. I think it makes sense to do this. We're going to summon Wolf on the Kingfisher lane. Get a big early hit in. He misses. Which fish? Oh, choose. What? Let's pick up a squirrel. Okay, so he's doing something here. I'm guessing he's going to kill the wolf, which sucks. But we're learning these bosses, so that's fine. Also, we can see visually that he's got 2 lives, same as the prospector, which means there's probably going to be some split, get him past half health effect where he'll clear the board. So we shouldn't commit too many resources in order to take out his first set of lives like this. Actually, we're going to kill him here. We're going to take out his first life with an early aggressive wolf. He's only 3 away, and wolf it should get by unscathed here. So I think we just end the turn here and see what his effect is like this. 1 light out. Oh, too fast, too soon. What the fuck? He just kills me. I'm sorry? Okay. Interesting. I guess I just lose the game? Is there fucking anything I can do? Okay. Cool. Fun. Super fun. Okay. Okay, I might see a way out. No, I don't see a way out. I have 3 items. I'm wondering if I can kill him this turn, is what I'm thinking. If I had a time turner, I would be able to win. So here's what I'm thinking. He just like has absolutely overrun the board. I guess as a punish for aggressive strategies. Good to know. So I have wolf that's attacking for 3 on my turn. I can use the scissors that I have to kill this grizzly to allow wolf to damage him directly for 3. If I get a time turner. From this elk fawn, wolf will get to attack again for 3, and he'll still lose the game. So let's see if we can do that. I guess I'll just draw from here. Oh, stoat as well. So we're going to scissor this fella. We're going to play elk fawn. No, not quite. Close. Wait, 1, 2, 3. We can still win. Oh my god. Watch and learn. Second scissors. Kill this grizzly. Use the black goat to sacrifice elk fawn to play river snapper, which will deal him 5 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which should put us over the edge. Holy shit. We still won it. Okay. Okay, we're learning a lot. Don't be too aggressive next time, Wesley. I can't believe He played 8 grizzlies for free, and we still won. Oh my god. Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good about that one, honestly. I'm gonna go ahead and pat myself on the back. Okay, yeah, powerful. The Prudent Pack Rat. Never doubt the utility of a well-stocked pack. Okay, so these are our rare options again. I think what these mushrooms are indicating is that I already have the card in my deck. I had seen them once before in the Pick of a Wolf. So I don't think it's Pack Rat. Items did just win us that last unwinnable fight. However, it's still 2 sacrifice, and it doesn't have a big defense stat or a lot of move. So I don't think we can pick Pack Rat here. We want one of these faster single sacrifice cards. Strange Larva, we still have no idea what it does. Child 13 is another cat, basically, it looks like. Doesn't make sense to me that Child 13 is just a cat, because cat is a common or uncommon card. So why would this be a rare? There must be some other hidden meta effect that we're not understanding about it. So this is an accelerator, and this is a mid-range play. Based on the sort of stuff that we've seen, I think the mid-range, sort of standard chunky creature is really what we want to be picking up here to make our deck more consistent. Yeah. This is interesting, and Cat did serve well in the early game, in a couple fights. But let's take the Strange Larva. We still haven't even played it, so, you know, maybe it's good. You considered one of the angler's catches as a meal, but the rank odor deterred you. Dinner would have to wait. Okay, we made it to Act 3. First playthrough. Good to know. Let me see. A frigid gust of wind billowed, unwelcome, into your lungs. The beauty of the falling snow failed to distract you from the chill in your bones. You had ascended to the snow line. So we were in the woods, then we were in a swamp, and now we're trekking up into the snowy mountains, it seems like. And just like we did before, let's just take a sec. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so his eyes are just red now. Good to know. Good to know. But let's just take a look around and see if anything has changed in the room. Gold teeth. I didn't see this before. Was this here? Or am I just blind? I would have just totally missed that. It looks like the globe hasn't changed in any way that I can tell. Wolf is still stuck. Maybe this showed up when I killed the prospector or something like that, which would beg the question: what showed up when I killed the other fella, the angler? Our squirrel knife is still caught. Painting's still the same. Nothing that I'm understanding about this has changed. I'm guessing this is part of a larger sort of meta story that the details of which will become apparent once I die for the first time. Unfortunately, despite all of the game's attempts to kill me, I've only succeeded. Just gonna go ahead and keep patting my back here. Okay, so nothing's changed as far as I can tell, except maybe that skull showed up, but also I miss things often, so... Okay, so now we've got more of a branching path here. So let's take a second... Well, this doesn't change any of our choices, right? So we always pick this. Moose buck. The regal moose, the creatures of the wilds make way for it. Elk. Grizzly. I don't think there is an option to skip, which means we have to take one of these. These triple sacrifice cards, they have a little bit more value than would normally be the case because I have a black goat item and I actually have black goat in my deck. So that's a way of turning one squirrel into 3 for moose buck or grizzly. So that sort of weighs them up a little bit, but the size of my deck is so giant that drawing a single black goat is just, it's unlikely. Although we do have elk fawn and we have pack rat, both of which can give us more items, which could end up being a black goat. Feels a little dicey though, but the elk hasn't been too terribly strong one way or another either. But you know, we haven't played around with too much positioning in general. Let's take the elk. Let's just see how it goes. I feel like the fact that these 3 blood creatures are now showing up seems to indicate that, like, maybe I should think about adding them. They're clearly very powerful, late game sort of creatures. And I did just get punished horribly for playing an aggressive style with Wolf, but I still won. I in general am more of a fan of the aggressive play styles. Let's go ahead and pick up elk, just as a faster creature than the other 2, guaranteed. So we've got an upgrade here. We've got a sacrifice altar, which is very good. We want to remove cards from our deck to guarantee the consistency of the good cards that we want. So that feels good. Items, we have 1 item remaining, and we've got the 2 cards that give us items, so I feel super compelled to go here. Also, this is a totem fight. The totem fights are hard. So either we upgrade a creature or we sacrifice. Let's do the sacrifice. Let's get rid of cards. We don't want cards in our deck. We want something fast and consistent. What are we sacrificing here? I think we want to sacrifice either pack rat or elk. I think the elk ability is less relevant than getting this pack rat ability on a faster creature. So let's do that. Let's sacrifice pack rat and put it on a 1-drop. Like, I guess really any 1-drop would do, honestly. I wonder how cat works. When a card bearing the sigil is sacrificed, it does not perish. It doesn't get replayed though, right? If I put this item giving card on cat, and then I sacrifice cat, I don't get another item per sacrifice. That would be insane. I'm guessing that that's not the case. And the way that the effect is worded seems to indicate that it's not. I think any 1-drop should be equivalent, honestly, so let's just put it on Porcupine. We want to play Porcupine early game as a defender, so there's incentive to get it out early, pick up an item, that sort of stuff. Let's go to a fight. Okay, finally we've got a strange larva, and we've got porcupine. Yeah, see, this is way better. Every single turn two, almost the entire game, we've always picked up a squirrel to play a 2-cost card in our hand. But now, for the first time, we've got these only 1 costs with the black goat, so we want to pick up from our deck, that's where the stronger cards are. So I think we've done well by evening out the cost of things. If this hand is any indication. Oh, he's just going to play a moose buck. Okay. Oh. 0-4. Burrower. When an empty space would be struck, a card bearing the sigil will move to that space to receive the strike instead. Okay, gotcha. So it's a way of blocking aggressive strategies. It sort of gives me the control, though, of where it moves around, which might let me block moose buck in certain scenarios. This is horrifying to drop on turn 1. Let's put the strange larva out. I am interested to see what it does, because I don't know yet. It's the first time we've played it. Strange pupa. He'll kill me unless I block moose buck. I'm tempted to say that's actually not a big deal. Here's what I'm thinking. I pick up squirrel. I play porcupine like this. Get an item. Boulder, great blocker. Moose buck hits porcupine, keeps moving. And then I can use squirrels to block moose buck's attack every time while this pupa continues to grow. So the pupa, it looks like, doesn't fledgling the same way that other cards fledgling. Unfortunately, so it actually isn't really much of a mid-range creature. It's more of like a sit on it and block until it becomes powerful creature, as far as we can tell. Let's keep doing this. Okay, so we have Mothman now, a 7/3 flyer. Looks like that's just going to win us the game. Good to know. So Moosebuck is going to stop Broodhound's attack here, or a play, which is great. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play Squirrel just as a blocker. End the turn. Mothman should deal 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then he'll deal the same next turn. And now we just win. Also, the overkill gives us so much money. We got 6 extra gold teeth from that, which is insane. So maybe it would have been better to go to this trap. No. So the advantage of Trapper is that we get to pick from a wide variety of cards to tailor our deck just the way we want it. But I think this was true before. It actually requires a totem fight to access. Maybe that's not true in general, but like I think we've seen that twice. So it's always a big risk to hit Trapper. This is add to our deck, which in general is not so good for us. River Snapper has not been very strong, so we have an opportunity to pick up Moosebuck here. This is an interesting pick. I really don't like Sparrow right now. It's a way to provide some light, consistent damage in some cases, but if there's going to be more fights that are like Moose Buck on turn 1, I don't think Sparrow is going to give us a lot of oomph. But River Snapper's also meh. 2 cost card for 1 attack. That's a common, that's a starter deck card. I'm sort of leaning Moose Buck as a big late game finisher, especially as a way to turn things around at the end of the game. If the enemy has a wide variety of creatures, it's got this movement ability and this big health stat, along with a very respectable attack stat to sort of clear out a board as it goes. Let's take Moose Buck. So we've got an upgrade. A warm light of a campfire. Okay, it's always the same dialogue as far as I can tell. Stoked. Stoked doesn't want to be invested in for some reason, which makes me want to upgrade Stoked. The only other card that I think would be very strong to upgrade would be... Oh, Mantis, yeah. We could take Mantis to 3 attack. I feel like there's some meta story element to that. I'm not even sure. Mantis already has poison, so actually there's no advantage at all to upgrading its attack. Well, I mean, damage directly to the enemy. Actually, there's something pretty funny that happens if Mantis goes to 3, which is that I instantly win the game if I have him in my opening hand. If I go first, and he's got 3 attack, and I play him on an uncontested board, he strikes for 3 twice, ends the fight. So that's sort of a cheaty way to get around stuff. But I don't think that's necessary. Doesn't feel necessary, at least. Let's do Stoat. Let's see if there's some meta commentary to be had. Pick something else. The survivors were right about the flames. They had enhanced the creature's power. Spotting a few of the survivors drooling. Okay, doesn't look like anything happened. But we tried. I'll take it. So we've got Porcupine to get us an item. Man, giving this guy the item ability was really strong. We've got Moose Buck in our opening hand, unfortunately. What does he have going on? He's got Mole Man and Moose Buck. So this is just larger mole. It's just blocking things. There's a chance that I might need to play Moose Buck this turn in order to deal with this Moose Buck. Last time with the Moose Buck we had a plan. I don't think we have much of a plan right now. So we have the ability to play Porcupine without using items. It could be a way to offset the strength of Moose Buck by just sort of sitting in a row and knocking at the enemy to try to offset this 3. But unfortunately, Porcupine only has 1 attack, so it's not going to get us very far. I think it makes sense to play Moose Buck. What is this spider? This is new. I don't understand if that's something I should be worried about or not. I suppose I can't control it, so... let's take an aggressive play. So we're gonna play black goat here, right? It doesn't matter where I play black goat. If I play moose buck, it's going to hit and move. If I play it here, it will hit and move. This will come up, hit and move. So we'll be at net 0 in terms of swinging towards win or lose. However, I'll get the first hit on his moose buck, which means that mine should come out on top as time goes to infinity. I think. Hit and move, right. So moose buck should hit and move. Okay, so he'll get the first attack. That's great. Mole is blocked by Mole Man here. Elk Fawn, we would like to kill, and we can do that with Porcupine on a coming turn. This is sort of interesting. Yeah, it's true, we have not seen a lot of Mantis. Where did Mantis go? We picked it up, we upgraded it, and in the first fight, it absolutely destroyed everyone. And we haven't really seen it since. There's one other fight where it was mediocre. Very positioning heavy card. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick up a card to give us more information. So what I want to do is eventually pick up a squirrel, end my turn, so that this guy will come forward. I'll be able to play Porcupine and attack his guy without Mole Man coming in to block the Porcupine's attack, which means I can't play Porcupine this turn, need to do it next turn. So I have 2 draws this turn and next turn. I want to draw a squirrel and a card. Drawing a card from my deck always gives me more information than drawing a squirrel. So in the interest of reducing uncertainty, let's draw from the deck first and see if that changes our plans. We get Wolf. Wolf doesn't change our plans. I'm just now realizing that Moosebuck will kill us. That doesn't feel very good. Moosebuck killing us would be very bad. What does that mean? Also, I'm 1 away from dying. It would be good to kill Elk Fawn before it upgrades, and I can do that easily with Porcupine. If I do that, though, Moosebuck, my Moosebuck attacks his, moves, and then his Moosebuck just kills me outright. My item is just Boulder. There is a way to get around this, maybe? This is Skunk. There is a way to get around this, sort of. So I'm thinking if I fill up these 2, Moosebuck can't move, but I don't think that's how Moosebuck works. I think if there's 2 cards here, it will turn around and move this way, and I'll still die. Does that mean I need to sacrifice Moosebuck to play River Snapper, for example? If that's the case, I still die to elk fawn. Man, this is getting much tougher. I think this is what I need to do. Take squirrel. Place boulder here. Squirrel, sacrifice my fully healthy moose buck, apparently, for snapper here. This prevents the damage. Yeah, this is tough. I think I can do this now. Squirrel, wolf, sacrifice these two, kill moose buck. Wolf will attack this, which will draw the mole man, which should force elk to know elk will get blocked by this mole. I think I want more information. I'm not dying this turn, so. Cat. I think cat is terrible here. Yeah. Mole man blocks wolf. Elk stuck. I need a blocker here. Man, this is not looking good. I think the blocker should be porcupine because it will give me an item. This is very strong. It makes me feel better. This is actually very interesting. I think I must use this right now. Killing elk means that mole or mole man will move to block this, and wolf will hit the other one like this. Okay, so mole being here is actually preventing elk from taking the field, so this is extremely good. I think if the order of things plays out from left to right, then wolf will still kill mole, but I'll still get one more. No, elk will take the field. Man, this is complicated. Strange larva. Oh shit, I fucking love strange larva. So this is very interesting. If I sacrifice wolf to play strange larva, mole will never get the chance to run over here to take this hit. So it'll just take 3 hits from porcupine. Rest of the board will sit around until larva becomes Mothman. And when larva becomes Mothman, we just win the game. So I think we've eked out another win here. He can play as many moths as he wants. Honestly, I'd prefer it. Wolf is fine. We got Mothman. Okay. This is getting stressful, man. This is getting real rough. So we've got our cat. with Undying. We've got our wolf. Mothman's getting in for 7 this turn, which is huge. I still think it makes sense to get information from the deck like this. More wolf. Okay, so Mole cannot block Mothman because it's flying. So these should sit tight, which means Elk will still not take the board. Excuse me. So, Porcupine will still get to take the kill on Mole, which is good. Which means Elk will actually take the board anyway. But it's fine, we should just be able to end the game here. Yeah, it shouldn't matter at all. Lucky draw. Good old Stout. Mothman takes the kill. We have a ton of money. This is a new indicator. I don't think we've seen this yet. Or is this the this is the pelt buyer? Interesting. She gave me cash. She said, "Do not return empty-handed again." So, if I don't take another trapper, she might get very angry. I don't think we've seen this item before. I like these sacrifices a lot. These totem fights, I think we sort of want to avoid. I haven't seen an advantage to taking totem fights. There are some stronger fights in games like Slay the Spire where you get a relic or some permanent buff to your deck as a result of beating them, but as far as I can tell, we haven't gotten anything for taking these totem fights, so I don't see the point in doing it. That could just be me missing something. I think the sacrifices, you know what? Getting 3 items would actually be pretty strong. The items really have sort of carried us through a lot of this. Let's get 3 items. And try not to die. The Opossum actually was pretty good as a blocker. Let's take that. This is only dealing 1 damage, it just doesn't feel very impactful. Let's take a black goat. So if we need to, we can get out that the bull moose. Let's take another black goat. I like the black goats a lot. I think they have just sweeping utility. It seems almost always better than squirrel, except for the case where you need squirrel as a chump blocker. Holy smokes, there's a lot going on in this game. It has such a simple feel because the cards are so simply drawn, and they have very unassuming woodland creature names, except for a few like these rares, but there's really a lot of complexity to it. And despite only having 4 positions, there's a lot of positional calculation that goes on. It's really a very well done game. I wonder how replayable it is. I'm guessing there's going to be an instance where I die, and then we'll learn more about the game. We'll see. Because usually with these sorts of games, they shoot you right into your first playthrough with a simplified set of cards or set of instructions, which we saw. In the first act, it was a highly linear path. He was explaining everything. I don't think that sort of stuff will come again if we die and have to replay. I think we'll have all the complexity that we've learned already up to this point folded back into the start of the game. At least I hope that's the case. So we've got Turkey Vulture, which is a very powerful flyer, and we've got Mole. Turkey Vulture is almost as bad as Bull Moose. Almost. Cat's pretty good though. I like cat here. Cat lets us play strange larva, and then we can play elk the following turn. We've also got black goat, if we just wanted to get elk out right now. We've got a lot of those item drawing cards, so maybe we should just do that. Check this out. This is very powerful. This is where, like, in certain hands it looks like cat is doing all of the work. So we get to play cat. Let's put it here. I want strange larva on a spot that won't get attacked, and we know this mole shouldn't get attacked. And then let's put elk, which will attack. We'll pick up a black goat here. We'll play black goat by sacrificing cat, so cat sticks around. And we'll be able to play elk by sacrificing black goat. And cat, why not? Let's put it here, so that it gets an attack on this the turn it comes in. So the power of cat here is that we've managed to play our entire opening hand on turn 1. And we've got strange larva ticking away at becoming Mothman, which, when that happens, we're essentially assured the win. Great. So sparrow and raven egg. Yeah, we're fine. Elk will get a hit on turkey vulture here, and it'll move just in time to kill the raven egg. Strange pupa will become the Mothman and absolutely obliterate sparrow and everything else. Let's draw from our deck. Wolf. Yeah, again, the power of cat is that we'll be able to play wolf with just a single squirrel draw when we get the chance. So we just end here. We're close to losing here, but Mothman gives us the win, essentially. We've got wolf here, squirrel like this. And now we just sit and wait to win, I think. Man, Mothman is very powerful. Moosebuck. Moosebuck offers us almost nothing. We win this turn anyway. Right? 3. Yeah. Let's just end the game. Oh. Yeah, it's still enough. Yeah, that wouldn't have changed anything. Okay. So we used one item and completely obliterated that fight. No problem at all. Thanks to cat. You must make a different kind of choice now. So I don't think we've seen this this tile before. Choose not a specific beast, but decide the cost that you wish to pay. The cost that I wish to pay. Okay, so this is saying you'll get a random card if you pick one of these. Let's see on average what we're looking like. So there's this idea in traditional deck building games like Magic the Gathering of a curve where statistically you're drawing a certain number of cards from your deck at the start of every game, and you want a good portion of those to be playable cards in every phase of the fight. Typically that tends to mean most of your cards you want to be on the cheaper end, so that you can always draw something to play on turn 1 and turn 2 so that you're not caught behind. That's not always the case for certain types of deck building games, but because this one is almost exclusively creature focused, aside from the items that we can use, we don't have the ability to recover with cards like lightning bolt and magic, direct damage spells that we could use to remove enemy minions. We've got those scissors as an item, but those aren't consistent. We can't really depend on those always being around. So because it's a creature-focused deck, our way of buying time and dealing with things is really just to get stuff out early, which means I'm going to say we're going to want like 50% of our deck-ish to be the one-drop cards. And the reason I explain that is I just want to, if we don't have 50% of our deck as one-drop cards, I'm just going to pick one. So we've got Stoat 1, Cat 1, Strange Larva 1, Strange Larva, another 1, Goat, Fallen Porcupine Mantis. Eight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we've got more than 50% one drops. That's good. We're in an okay spot there. And then, theoretically we might want to have a little bit more, but everything else should be top end. 2 cost cards and 3 cost cards. Because of that, and because we still have a black goat, I think I'm going to pick 2 here. Hatter. A random card with cost of 2. What were you expecting? I don't think I get the ability to skip this, although I would prefer to, because Adder is sort of weak. But that's okay. The upside of Adder is that if we get another one of those sacrificial tiles, we can put this poisonous on another creature, which is very strong. So we'll take the Adder. And it is a way to deal with these bull mooses that we keep running into. So we've got upgrade or items. Let's do upgrade, I think. We've already got 2 items, so it doesn't feel extremely valuable. Who do we want to upgrade? Stop this. Stoat really does not want to get upgraded. Do you see these eyes? Just like deeply sick of everything that we're doing. In general, our top end, the 3 attack creatures and more, are sort of okay. Again, we've got the Mantis bifurcated strike synergy, but it's already got poisonous, so there's not a lot of compelling reason to do that. The Strange Larva is just going to transform anyway, so no reason to do that. Black Goat is purely sacrificial. The Cat, I kind of like the Cat, because the Cat, once you play it, it's sticking around until it dies, so upgrading Cat is sort of a sneaky way of getting in some damage here and there. So I kind of like Cat. Let's do Cat. Oh. It enhances health. Okay. I thought I was going to get attack. 3 health Cat. I much would have preferred that on something else, but that's okay. We gave Cat a nice rubbing down. Got a bath. Slept by the fire. We've got a happy Cat now. It's time for the boss fight. Let's do it. So we get that smoke again, and honestly, this smoke, I think won us. I mean, there were so many crazy things that happened in the last boss fight. I think the smoke is actually a huge advantage. It's an extra squirrel, which when you play an aggressive style deck like we formulated here, is like the whole game. It's like as soon as you can get out stuff like Wolf, that's when you can guarantee the win. Okay, who is this? A man stood before you. A man you recognized immediately. It was the trapper. Oh. You reached out to examine his wares, but he stopped you. Sorry, but today you will supply the pelts. Oh. Oh my god. Do you see this background? There's just like knives floating up and down. Also, I haven't been paying too much attention to the soundtrack in the background, but it's very well done. Yeah, I mean, this track specifically is haunting, but all of them have been like equal parts creepy and engaging. Just the polish in this game is amazing, especially when you consider this was made by almost entirely one guy. It's an indie release from a guy up in Canada, but I think he had some help on the music and some of the 3D assets, but you know, it's mostly made by one guy, so it's pretty amazing. So let's see what we've got here. He's got strange frogs and leaping trap. Steel trap. When a card bearing the sigil perishes, the creature opposing it perishes as well. A pelt is created in your hand. Okay. So he's got these strange frogs. They don't seem too terribly threatening versus the bull mooses we were fighting earlier. But the art on them seems to indicate that when you kill a strange frog, it turns into a leaping trap, maybe? Let's see what we've got. So we've got smoke and squirrel. We have moosebuck, mantis, and porcupine. So we know mantis to be extremely powerful. We know porcupine to be pretty good. So the cool thing about Mantis is I'm pretty sure it can kill Leaping Trap without dying if we put it here. However, it'll die immediately to Strange Frog, which is just no good. So we could play Mantis here as a guaranteed kill on these two frogs. But it would then die to this strange frog. We could save Mantis to see if we could get it in a more stable, sustainable killing position, and just drop a porcupine for now. That seems like sort of an okay way to hedge bets here. Porcupine also gives us more information with regards to items. We could also use Black Goat and just fucking put a bull moose out, which feels good. Oh, little visual bug there. I kind of like just putting bull moose here. Let's try this. With these boss fights, I'm getting very wary as to like dropping lots of resources early on, because we know something's going to happen when the second candle, or when the first candle drops out. Usually a very powerful effect. We know that we can't get too aggressive or we'll end up in a situation like we had before. But Moosebuck as a way to just sort of run down this line and kill things one at a time does not seem like too much of an overextension to me. So let's do that. Let's use the smoke and a Black Goat to put Moosebuck down here. And now, you know, I could play Mantis and Porcupine, but I'm sort of scared as to what this guy's gonna do, so let's just wait it out a sec and see what happens. Yeah, okay. See, now we're getting more information. So when a strange frog dies, it creates a leaping trap. This we have learned. That's okay. We can use Mantis to get rid of these leaping traps without killing. So here's what I think is going to happen. Moosebuck's going to kill Strange Frog. Another leaping trap will be created. It'll move along. It'll kill this one. When it moves here, we're going to place Mantis here, which will give us the ability to kill these two traps. And then Moosebuck can start knocking out the opponent's life total. So I think we literally just sit around, draw cards and squirrels to stock up our hand for the second phase of the fight, and we're gonna let Moosebuck and Mantis slowly do all the work in phase 1. So I think we should be drawing from our deck to be gaining more information. Cat. Cat's great. Gotta love cat. The advantage of cat is that we can sort of leave it against one of these leaping traps, and it'll never kill it. So it's sort of a safe space. Man, again, the soundtrack is very haunting. You can hear sort of like cutting, grinding, the sound of a serrated knife pulled against pelt, that sort of stuff. Very spooky. Yeah, so I don't think there's a strong reason to play cat now. Let's just keep ending turn and sticking to the plan. I keep forgetting about that overkill damage. It like almost never comes into play. Yeah, cat gives us a lot of flexibility with regard to playing stuff. So let's keep drawing from the deck. Wolf is great. We love wolf. We're gonna end turn again. Oh, wolf. Okay, so here's what we're doing. We're gonna pick up squirrel now, and we've got Mantis coming in like this. So if I've read things correctly, Mantis should kill these two traps. Oh. So the downside is when Mantis kills leaping trap here, it will kill this Moosebuck. But that's okay because this Mantis will then kill wolf and bullfrog. We just have to make sure that we don't die in the meantime. 1, 2. So we've got 4, and these guys will deal 4. So this is actually pretty bad. I may have fucked up here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. As it currently sits, we are losing, but we can survive with the frozen opossum. Frozen opossum going here, Mantis kills this, destroys the frozen opossum, spawns a regular opossum. Possum blocks this bullfrog. We survive at 1. Let's do that. Mantis kills that, we get an opossum. Mantis kills the other one. Oh yeah. Oh my god. I totally miscalculated that. Here's what happened. Mantis dealt a single damage to the leaping traps. Because it only has a health of 1, this extra damage carried over to the creature behind it because of the overkill rule, which again has not come into play much, so I'm not super familiar with it. Or I'm not thinking about it, rather. But the poison effect on Mantis actually killed those creatures, which I didn't know was a thing. So I think we just sit around and win now. So we've got wolf pelts. What do we do with them? No idea. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're just sort of blockers. Because he's strange labyrinth. Because he's got nothing else going on right now, I think we just He's got adder coming in. So again, I really don't think there's a reason. Oh, there is to play wolf. Let's take a squirrel. So let's knock out the first candle, see what happens. Scales are reset. Too fast, too soon. Too fast, too soon. I don't understand what that means. Too fast, too soon. It happened again. Too fast, too soon. Okay, what does this mean? There are two explanations I can think of. One is we are supposed to lose the game. This is a mechanic that some games employ when they deal with lose. So the game wants you to learn that when you lose, you actually figure out more about the mechanics. They reveal something else to you. The losing is supposed to be shocking to you, because you don't expect to lose in a game where most games you're trying to win, and the shock is it's overrun with awe after you realize that so much more of the game has been revealed when you lose. So it could be the case that these are only getting dropped because it's my first run, and they're like, no, you really don't want to beat the game now. I thought it was a punishment for aggro styles before. It seems like that's not the case. The only other thing I could think of is that I should have waited longer for more of the match to play out. As in, like, there was something that he would reveal on turn 5 or 7 that would then make it okay to proceed. Yeah. So I am out of items now. I don't think I get much of a chance to win this time. I do have one chance of winning. My chance of winning is if Porcupine gives me the time turner object. So if I get an extra turn after this, Mantis will kill these 2 grizzlies, and then the turn after it'll deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with one of these others, and so I'll still win the game. So if I get the time turner from Porcupine, I think I still win. Oh, I need to draw, that's right. I'm going to draw. Is there a card in my deck that would help me here? It would be the other item card. Let's pick it up in case. Okay, I got Elk Fawn. Okay. Feels good. Let's do this. Play Elk Fawn. So I actually get 2 chances at the item. That was not it. That's okay. Porcupine can overrun Elk Fawn here. No, that's not what I want to do. I want to play it on the end here, like this. That's interesting. I don't think it works, but it's close. Using this, I can kill Grizzly, which guarantees a hit here. Wolf is 3 attack, which I can sacrifice these 2 to place. So it's very close. It's extremely close. That's very sad. Imagine if I beat the game on the first playthrough that you're obviously not supposed to beat the game on. That would be disgusting. Yeah, there's nothing I'm doing wrong, right? Mantis kills this Grizzly. That's my way in, essentially. Wait, if I hit this... Wait. I can still win. Oh my god. It happened again. Mantis will deal 2 here. Wolf will deal 3 here. Which will win me the game. It happened again. I'm winning the game on my first playthrough. I don't think this is supposed to happen. Is Strange Larva compelling? It would be the 3rd larva of the deck. Child 13 is kind of interesting. So Strange Larva, you know, it has this fledgling type, but we didn't know that it would become the Mothman. So I think Child 13 might be of a similar flavor, where there's some secret hidden effect that we don't know about that only happens when you sacrifice it so many times. The Mothman's very powerful, but let's take this. You know, I keep saying this. We're learning the game, right? It's okay to make mistakes. I say as I beat the second set of 8 Grizzlies. With the enigmatic trapper and trader now bleeding into the snow, you persisted. You could see a light in the distance. The end is near. Let me think. Okay. Didn't expect this. So, Slay the Spire has 3 acts, and then 1 final act, which is very short, like this, that leads to the final boss of the game. This one appeared to essentially have mirrored that tactic, unknowingly or knowingly. Maybe I'm just drawing connections in my head because I keep thinking about Slay the Spire with regards to the roguelike tech builders, but this is like Act 4, the heart fight. This is clearly the cabin that we're in. Again, let's, new act. Let's back out and see if anything's changed. Actually, I'm just now hearing this. If you listen quietly. That flashing isn't lightning. It sounds like sort of a floodlight going on and off or something like that. Or sort of like firecrackers or something like that. None of this seems to have changed at all. Man. Yeah, again. Oh, another tooth. So it looks like the teeth show up at some interval. Everything's still the same. His eyes still terribly red. He does not want to lose. But I'm not going to give him a choice in the matter. We have one item, right? We have black goat. The items are the only reason that I've been winning any of these difficult fights. They're really clinching it for me, which is making me think that I should go here. And take 2 more items and be totally stacked for whatever the heck this is. I think I'm going to do that. If he does more of this bear shit, like, this is not going to help me, because the bears were all augmented with reach. So I don't think this is it. Although, you know, I really haven't given this much of a shot. Squirrel. Squirrel's fine. Squirrel's pretty similar to black goat in my deck, so not terrible. Just some acceleration in the early game. And this, it's not super compelling. Let's take the squirrel. Same options. Do we take a 3rd squirrel or a teeth puller? I don't think I need 3 squirrels. That seems like overkill. Let's take the teeth puller. Sometimes I'm like just about to lose by 1, you know. Your eyes affixed themselves on the small cabin. Its warm light a beacon in the oppressive darkness of the night. Surely this cabin marked the end of your travails. Okay. Okay. Things have changed. I cannot go any way but forward as far as I can tell. Okay. The fuck is that? Big hand. Big hand. Holy smokes. Steps away from the strange cabin, you were presented with an opportunity. I don't offer my boons to just any traveler. If you are able to pass my trials, you will be rewarded mightily. The Trial of the Winged. The 3 drawn cards must include a card with the airborne sigil. The 3 drawn cards must include a card with the airborne sigil. The Trial of Rarity. The 3 drawn cards must include a rare card. The Trial of Skins. The 3 drawn cards must include a pelt card. Okay, I think what he's saying is there's 3 options. He's going to draw 3 random cards from my deck. If they meet the criteria of the thing that I choose, I will gain a boon. Whatever that means. How did I make it here? This is the first run. I don't have any flyers, so obviously that's out of the way. I think I might have 2 pelts. No, the pelts were added by the trapper fight. I don't think I get to keep those. I wish I could look at my deck to confirm. The rarity, I have 3 rare cards out of 21, so 1 in... This seems like the best chance. I think because the other are 0% chance, so let's do the rarity. Let the Trial of Rarity begin. Not a single rare card. Failure. We will repeat that once more. Trial of the Fin. The 3 drawn cards must include a card with the Waterborne. Trial of the Swift. Sprinter. The Trial of the Ring. If you have a ring, you pass automatically. Where do you get a ring? Okay, I don't have a ring. I don't have any waterborne. I have elk, which is a sprinter. But looks like I'm going to fail this one too. Let the trial of the swift begin. Good luck, says Stoat. What an asshole. Not a single card with the sprinter sigil. Failure. Okay, so I'm guessing this is going to be a big, dramatic, very difficult fight at the end. And that is supposed to be something like a reward for building a deck with a certain theme or style. I just tried to put the good cards in my deck. I guess that's not what he's looking for. Okay. You didn't get any boons. This won't even be a challenge. I wish I could go any other way. I'm just gonna check each time because okay, I'm in the house. Oh. Okay, we get to see his face. He's a fucking weird old tree man. He actually is like a fungus creature. There's mushrooms in his beard. You know, some sort of growth over here on his wrist. You took your time out there, and I'm itching for another game. Are you ready to play? I mean, no. I hope you are adequately prepared. Yeah, we're gonna find out. I get the smoke. Always get the smoke. Or perhaps one more to be safe. Okay, so he's got 3 lives. This is what I assume is the final fight. He's the Man of Masks, Mole Man, and Amalgam, which is just a 3/3. What do we have going on here? So the larva is going to be extremely powerful if I can just survive until then. Mantis, also extremely powerful. I think what I want to do is put Mantis here. It'll kill Mole Man and kill the Amalgam, and then I'm going to put the larva here, which will be, should offer some protection in this direction, hopefully. So, you know, we're going to show our hand a little bit here by doing this. But that's okay. We get to sort of spend a few turns drawing to offset this big set of cards. We've got Stoat. I wonder if Stoat is going to do some killer thing for us here. It would make narrative sense, right? I think. He's got the prospector pick now. Again, I think we just play it forward. People will become Mothman, and we'll be good there. We react after the first set is gone. Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay. Alright, he just fucking prospector killed my dudes. Mantis God, 1/1. Trifurcated strike. Hits all three. Okay, so that didn't go well. I have a teeth puller, I've got black goat, and I've got squirrel. I think because I have these, I have to draw from my deck to look for something more powerful. I'm 6 away. Which means next turn, if I don't deal with these, I'm going to get annihilated. He's got 9 incoming. This will kill this if I attack with wolf here. The problem is I can't even play Stoat. This is really bad. This is pretty rough. Stoat would save me here a little bit. This is rough. I should have taken squirrel instead of drawn from the deck. I think I need both of these. This gets a kill on this amalgam, and I take 5 next turn, which puts me at 1 away. Okay. Stale fish. Hard to choose. Yeah, choose that one, definitely. I must... I just lose, right? No, not necessarily. Wolf gets a kill here. Or, Wolf hits here, which saves me 3. This is pretty bad. The fact that I can't sacrifice Gold Nugget is pretty rough here. If I had one more sacrifice, I would be able to survive. Oh, you know what? I can still survive. It's just, it looks really bad for me. No, actually, this is fine. I get to play Stoat. Oh. I get to play Stoat here. New fish, easy choose. Okay, I did not understand that's what his ability was. Learning. The last creature you play will get axed. So, he says, keep me alive. I can't, unfortunately. He will die. Oh, mine now. Oh. I didn't understand that's what the angler did. You aren't dead yet. This isn't purgatory. Though you may think of it that way. Before you expire, I must ask you a favor. I would like a memento. Your very own death card. It's quite plain at the moment, isn't it? We will work together to amend that. I want this to be the perfect memento of you. Here's some cards from your mediocre deck. We can put them to good use. Please choose a card to draw the cost from. I mean, obviously we want a 1-drop, right? The cost of 1 blood from the strange larva. And another, this time we'll use its power and health, the numbers. I mean, Wolf has highest power and health. Although I wish I could take Mantis's abilities. Now choose a card from which we'll extract the sigils. It's gotta be Porcupine, right? It just has the most numbers. A sigil of sharp quills and a sigil of trinket bearer from the Porcupine. Wish it was the Mantis, but this one's pretty good. I never did ask you your name. Emergency brick, man. It's gotta be brick. There is now but one final matter. The portrait. Are you ready? You do not need to smile.